Some of the clients that I've known have been very interesting. We had a lady with Alzheimer's, and she was beginning to forget things, but she would make up the wildest, funniest stories, and it was just interesting to see how her imagination would continue to work. But she knew something wasn't quite right, and she'd say, "Oh, took another bite out of my brain," and she'd just laugh it off. And then her daughter would come and go, "Mom, that's not at all what would happen." And I say, "Don't worry about it. That was a fun story. She had fun telling it, and I had fun understanding it." And then the same woman, toward the end of her life, she was in the hospital for a week, and I, as a caregiver, and a couple of other caregivers would spend time with her in the hospital, and she would get very upset. She didn't like being in the hospital. She was confused, so it was good to be with her, hold her hand, and then she would calm down, because we were familiar. The rest of the situation was very confusing to her, but being with her, I think, calmed her down, gave her a little more confidence, as to what was going on, because her daughter couldn't be there all the time. She was working, and so I think that helped a lot. And again, that's that satisfaction in knowing you helped someone. It was just fun doing that. And I've also worked for another client for about 3 years now, another woman who has Alzheimer's and has declined slowly over time. And her husband comes home from work, and he can't really talk to his wife anymore about what's going on with business, so he can talk to me a little bit about what's going on. And I think that helps take the pressure off of him a little bit too. He has someone to talk to, a little feedback, and I don't tell him what to do or anything, of course, but I think it's just someone a little empathetic to what's going on with him in his own life, and how upset he is over his wife. He feels badly, that, gee, when we retire, we were going to travel together. So don't dwell on that, but just ask him, where were you going to go? What were you going to do? And we kind of imagine, the things that they might have done. And I think that gives him a little relief too about, then he can look at his wife and go, yeah, we would have really liked doing that together. So he can imagine himself doing that. So it's just fun, getting to know people and their own personal lives and their desires and their needs. And maybe I can help a little bit, toward that regard.
That was awesome.
Okay.
Amazing.
That's all I can do.
Are you kidding, Harriet? So you touched on things that we've never really touched on.